Hello, everybody. This is Padmaja
Hi.
Angar Paddy. Hi, Neelam. Namaskar and good evening from India. A warm welcome to you all to this fourth edition of International Poetry Meet, organized and facilitated by my very dear friend and a much awarded prolific poet, novelist, and short story writer, Neelam Saxena Chandra. Hi, Neelam.
Hello,
And before I
Paddy.
commence, yeah, hi. Before I commence today's proceedings, I'd like to share this five-liner written by me on an all-important subject of organ donation.
Okay.
Because maybe I'm at that age, so I think of these things. I do not know my worth as a human on this earth, but it is my burning desire before I'm consigned to fire that my organs help those in dearth. So come,
Very
let's
nice.
enjoy an. Thank you so much. Thank you. Come, let's enjoy an evening of some great English poetry and a tete-a-tete with all the participating poets in this fourth international poetry meet. Uh, to the friends who have already joined us, it will interest you to know that today's reading session is by an all-ladies group of 5 poets. So we'll start with the guests. Neelam, shall we start with the guests?
Sure.
Yeah, so I have great pleasure in welcoming our guest poet, a well-known Italian and English poet, and my dear friend, all the way from Italy, Dr. Maria Miraglia.
Hi to each of you.
Hi, Maria. Welcome to the StreamYard studio. Hope you're able to
Hi,
hear me.
Maria.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you
Our
for
pleasure.
joining us. Yeah, our pleasure. Thank you for joining us. And here are some brief insights into Dr. Maria Miraglia's accomplishments. Hi, Manisha Anmol. Thanks for joining. Dr. Maria A. Miraglia from Italy is an educationist, poet, translator, essayist, peace activist, and a peace activist. Besides her graduation in foreign languages and literatures, she holds 2 master's degrees as well. Dr. Maria Miraglia is an active member of Amnesty International for the abolition of nuclear weapons, Observatory for Human Rights, Deputy President Coordination, the Observatory for Human Rights, Deputy President Coordination at the United World Movement for Children, Kenya, founder of WFP, literary director of Pablo Neruda, and a member of several international editorial boards. Her poems are translated into several languages and published in numerous anthologies. Dr. Maria Miraglia is an author and translator of works in Italian and English. She is the recipient of several recognitions and awards. A warm welcome again, Dr. Maria Miraglia. How are you?
I am very well, and I am really very glad to have this opportunity to stay with you. The first time with only female poets. When you meet, there is a mixture of female and male poets. And it is my pleasure to meet people from a foreign country because I have my conviction about humanity, and I believe that distances do not make differences, that we are all the same all over the world. So I catch this opportunity to show others, but above all to myself, that I am writing when I think that Paddy is can be very dear to me as my next door friend. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Maria Miraglia, for sharing your thoughts. It's wonderful having you in our midst. I have great pleasure in welcoming another accomplished poet and my dear friend, Hema Ravi from Chennai, India.
Namaste. Good
Hi,
evening to all of
Hema.
you.
Welcome to StreamYard.
Thank you so much. Good evening.
So we are all
Yes.
audible to each other, isn't it? Hema,
Yes.
Neelam? Yeah, good.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Hema, for joining us. And
My
here's
pleasure.
poet Hema Ravi's brief bio. Hema Ravi from Chennai, India, is a widely published, award-winning poet, author, reviewer, editor, independent researcher, an annual poetry event organizer, and the secretary of Chennai Poets Circle. Featured in several international poetry anthologies, print magazines, and e-zines, her poetic thoughts have been featured in the 21st Century Critical Thought, a dialogue with postmodern voices, Volume 1, a collection of interviews by Dr. Jarnail Singh Anand. Hema Ravi is the author and co-author of 7 published volumes on English speaking and writing, rhymes, and everyday Hindi. She is also a freelance trainer for IELTS and Communicative English. Hema scripted and presented Everyday English with Hema, a series of English lessons broadcast over the Kalpakam community radio. And friends, you'll be interested to know that just yesterday, Hema won a prize in a short story contest. Heartiest congratulations, Hema.
Thank you,
Welcome,
thank
again.
you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure. And thanks for that lovely introduction, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neelamji. Thanks. Good evening, Maria. So happy to meet you on this forum. Looking forward to good interactions with you all in future as well. Thank you so much.
Same here, same here.
Same here. Now it is the turn of a young and dashing poet, Parul Rastogi, to be introduced to all those who are with us at this 4th International Poetry Meet. Welcome, Parul.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Our pleasure, Parul. Parul Rastogi from Sitapur, India, is a bilingual poet, editor, and a certified translator with more than 14 national and international anthologies to her credit, besides her solo poetry collection, Love Cocktail. She has translated a number of books, subtitles, and website content for national and international organizations, as also a best-selling novel, Crossroads, from Hindi to English. From English to Hindi,
Yes.
that has been recognized by the India Book of Records. She also composes songs, having written and sung songs for music albums. See what a multi-talented person we have in our midst. Parul is a recipient of Agaman Young Talent Award 2014, Bikaner Social Media Friendship International Conference Award 2016, Rabindranath Tagore International Poesis Award for Excellence 2016, Hindustan Gaurav Samman 2016, and Vibhushan Samman. 2016 seems to have been a lucky year for you, Parul. Huh? Welcome.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. It's an
And
honor
now,
to be here
friends,
with all of you.
yes. It's such a pleasure to have you in our midst, young Parul. And dear friends, now let's all cheer the Karta Dharta, the organizer and facilitator of this meet, my dear
Yes.
friend, Neelam. Though she really doesn't need an introduction, let me still fulfill this very pleasant formality. Neelam Saxena Chandra has authored 5 novels, a novella, 6 short story collections, 32 poetry collections, and 14 children's books. She is a bilingual
Amazing.
author, writing in English as well as Hindi. More than 1,500 of her poems and stories have been published in various journals, anthologies, and magazines and e-zines. She is featured in the Limca Book of Records 2015 as the author with highest number of publications in a year in English as well as Hindi. Neelam is a recipient of several international and national awards. It's a very long list, so we are not listing those awards. She was listed in Forbes, the famous Forbes magazine, as one of the most popular 78 authors in 2014. An engineering graduate from VNIT Nagpur and a senior Indian Railways Service officer, Neelam is currently Additional Divisional Manager, Indian Railways, Pune. Welcome, Neelam, and thank you for having us.
It's absolutely my pleasure to have you all. Welcome to all of you. And let
Thank
me
you.
introduce our moderator, Paddy. Padmaja Iyengar Paddy from Hyderabad, India, is the Literary and Cultural Convener, India, ISISAR Kolkata, and the Editorial Council India, International Writers Journal, USA. Her maiden poetry collection, Panchants, has been recognized as a unique record of excellence by the India Book of Records. A recipient of several awards and prizes, Paddy has compiled and edited 6 international multilingual poetry anthologies, of which Amravati Poetry Prism 2016 to 19 have been recognized by the Limca Book of Records as poetry anthology in most languages. Paddy's poems, articles, and short stories, some of them prize winners, have been published in several print magazines, anthologies, and e-zines. Paddy writes for pleasure and finds humor in everything. So that is our dear Paddy. Cheers to you.
Thank you so much, Neelam, for that wonderful introduction. And a warm welcome again to this all-lady poetry reading session to all of you. It seems to have happened by accident and not by design, certainly not by design. So here we go. There will be 2 rounds of poetry reading, and each of you will be invited to read a poem each in each of the sessions. So without further ado, let's quickly get into our business session, that is poetry readings. Dr. Maria Miraglia, I request you to please read your poem.
Well, I begin with a poem of mine whose title is Suitcase. Poland, 1939-1941. The only day only gave me 20 minutes and told me I could bring a suitcase with me, just one. I was afraid, but that old cardboard object took away from me the fear of something terrible and imminent, suggested the idea of continuity over time. The miserable things, hastily pressed inside, could have been useful tomorrow and the day after again. But it didn't take long to understand it was the offer of a fleeting illusion, a lie. To make things easier, it would be of no use if not to become a silent testimony of the occurred tragedy. This is, okay, this is my first poem.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maria. You'll read your second poem in the second round when you'll be once again invited to read your poem.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask you something about this particular poem. What inspired you to write this poem? Because it's a very introspective poem. It seems like a journey within yourself. So I'd like to know what inspired you to write this poem.
Yes, just a sentence. I give you 20 minutes. A sentence I heard in a movie about Germany during the Holocaust, when they went in search of the Hebrew to bring to the camps where they would find just their death. And I am a European, so even though I have not lived the period of the Second World War, but it was too fresh a memory. And it was a very terrible memory. As a teacher in schools in Italy, and also with my with other teacher of English languages, because I have been a lecturer for English teachers in my country, I often came back to this moment, to this particular moment of history. Above all, to ask myself why these things happen. Okay, because I don't believe it is just referred to a particular segment of the human history, because things like that happened in a previous period, in a previous time, and they are happening in some parts of the world at the moment, and will also be present in the future. So instead of asking ourselves why that dictator made this bad action, I believe that we have to ask ourselves why man is able to do things like this.
True, very true. Thank you, Maria, because I know you're a peace activist. So you feel very strongly about war and violence and, that sort of a thing. And I know you also work a lot for the children. So I'm sure this poem was written with great feeling from the heart by you. Thank you for sharing your insights about your poem. I now invite senior poet Hema Ravi to please read her poem. Over to you, Hema.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So at the outset, let me convey my thanks to Neelam Chandra Saxena for this wonderful opportunity. To my well-wisher and mentor, Padmaja Iyengar Paddy ma'am, it's such an honor to be here this evening. So my poem is titled, Overcome Writer's Block. It's a villanelle. So villanelle is a pastoral or a lyrical poem of 19 lines. So here it goes. Overcome writer's block. Writing a villanelle is challenging. How I long to pen verses that are terse. Form poems are unnervingly baffling. Reading information that's mind-boggling. Feeling helpless and lost. Is it a curse? Writing a villanelle is challenging. With Plath in hand, my mind is still fleeting. Continue to read for better or worse. Form poems are unnervingly baffling. Thunderbird, hell's fires, prove scaffolding. Jottings fill mind. Can I start in reverse? Writing a villanelle is challenging. Mind keeps pace with race horses galloping. Past hill and dale it began traversing. Form poems are unnervingly baffling. Words appear in mind's eye encouraging. Glad I did not think of abandoning. Writing a villanelle is challenging. Form poems are unnervingly baffling. Thank you.
Thank you, Hema. Indeed, writing form poems is unnervingly challenging and baffling, and villanelle seems no different. But then, what better way to deal with writer's block than trying to write a form poem which has a specific structure and specific rules? It really, requires some brain work from you. So it's a nice way to challenge your brain and also challenge your creativity by trying to write a form poem. I found very interesting refrain patterns in your poem, Hema. So can you tell us briefly, please be brief, all of you, about the villanelle genre of poetry?
Yeah, sure. I'll do that. So it's a 19-line poem. 2 lines are repeating if you noticed. So the first and the third lines are repeating. So writing a villanelle is challenging. Form poems are unnervingly baffling. So they are alternated. So it's that gives it that lyrical or pastoral effect, So that is the format of this particular poem. So is that enough, or would you like?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Hema, for sharing your insights on the form poetry. And Hema specializes a lot in form poetry. She keeps experimenting with different types of form poetry. Thank you, Hema. I now invite a young poet, Parul Rastogi, to please read her poem. Over to you, Parul.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So, the title of my poem is Shadows. Each evening, when the sun, after a cup full of red wine, staggers back to home, when the moon leans over the ocean to plant a white kiss, when the west wind blows and souvenir moments fall from the cedar, when the chirping of birds accompanies song of eyelashes, when heliotrope spreads a lovesick intoxication, when the silence roars, bursting into the atoms, when the pine awakes, imagining the mate's face, she goes to the wall. She goes to the wall and sings, dances, and smiles. For she is no more alone. She is no more alone because each evening, when it gets darker, her shadow comes and cures her gloom and doom. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Wonderful poem, Parul, and what a heart-wrenching poem too, full of pathos and on pathos of separation. Separation
Thank
can,
you.
yeah, it's so full of pathos, your poem. What inspired you to write this poem? Because you're such a young girl and, writing so much about misery, pathos. What inspired you to write this
Okay.
poem?
Very tough to answer this question, but I guess each poet is full of some thoughts. Like some of us like to write about the inspirational poems, like Neelam
Sure.
ma'am write about inspirational poems. Somehow, I attract these things more. Means so maybe that is the reason. Means I
Yes.
feel the pain of others and
Wonderful.
try to portray the same in my poems. So these are not just my own experience, but also my observations, which
Excellent.
whatever I see around myself.
Yes, your sensitivity and your empathy, is the
Yeah,
hallmark of a good poet. And I'm sure you're a wonderful poet, Parul, and in future you'll be a well-known poet too.
thank
Thank
you
you for
so much.
sharing your
Thanks for the
insights,
blessings.
Parul. That was a wonderful poem. And now I'm immensely pleased to invite a multi-talented, multifaceted, and multitasking Neelam Saxena Chandra. Over to you, Neelam. Please read your poem.
Thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. The first poem which I'm going to recite is The Garden of 50s. By the time you're about to reach 50, you become a large garden with a variety of plants and trees growing on your heart. There may be a large banyan tree of grief that stands hidden at the center with its roots emerging from here and there. There may be tall trees of conifers of nothingness that keep growing on their own without the need to water them. There may be a few creepers that feed from your carefully planted trees, unwanted but still a part of your life, sometimes blossoming too and spreading cheer. There may be thorny plants of cactus which you have planted on the peripheries of your vulnerable heart to ward off unwanted people coming into your life. There may be beautiful shrubs of roses of love too, love that you never showed but that still bloomed in your heart. There may be a large mango tree of affection, the tree that keeps bearing fruits whether someone needs them or rejects them. But then there are 1,000 lilies that keep growing hither and thither in the garden of your heart that make you smile in this garden of fragility. Thank you. That was my poem.
Lovely.
That was a
Wonderful, wonderful.
wonderful poem, Neelam. The Garden of Fragility. What an expression. That's a wonderful expression. What a lovely concluding expression. Love the metaphors of garden, trees, conifers, creepers, etc., that you have employed in this thought provoking poem dealing with the age 50. Please share what triggered you to write this particular poem.
See, all poets go through different emotions. In fact, every human being goes through different emotions, and poets or writers can put them into words. That's the only difference. So, we may have some sadness, some grief, all of us have in our life. But, it depends on you whether to look at those sad moments or to smile in ecstasy. So this particular poem somehow emanates that positivity and optimism that there may be so many things, so many feelings, but the feeling which is the most important is the feeling of happiness. That's it.
Absolutely. Wonderful. I think that there was a lot of learning in that poem of yours, and that's what we need to be happy under all circumstances. Thank you, Neelam, for your insights.
May I just interrupt, Paddy ma'am? See, like
Sure.
Neelam, whatever she said, Thiruvalluvar's Irakkan Varugal Nagaga. So I was reminded of that. Okay, so even
Excellent, excellent.
yes, smile even when you are in trouble. Thiruvalluvar,
Sure.
the great poet.
Sure.
So thank you so much. It reminded me of that line. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you,
Thank
Hema.
you
Thank
so
you
much.
for
Thank you,
that
Emma.
additional insight of Thiruvalluvar. Thanks a lot.
And now, may I request Paddy to render her poem?
Thank you, Neelam. Thank you very much for having me here. My friend Hema, she read a villanelle. So I thought I'll also present a poetry genre called limerick. I'm very fond of writing limericks. So my poem is titled On Limericks. Let's write something each day on anything, any which way. Write a limerick a week to keep brain at its peak and to keep Alzheimer's at bay. Writing poetry in limerick style keeps one's mind really agile. Limericks, seldom nebulous, are often quite humorous and are sure to bring on a smile. Keep writing, for there are possibilities offered by life's illusions and realities. Some good, some bad, some mad, some sad. But don't be bogged down by the trivialities. I write limericks for sheer pleasure, ignoring most rules for good measure. Limericks are meant for enjoyment, shouldn't be objects of indictment, nor be subject of any kind of pressure. Thank you.
Bravo.
Very nice.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
So the starting lines which I had said, that Paddy and humor go hands in hand. So I suppose you proved it. So
Yes.
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why do you tend to write more of limericks or humor?
Yes. I think by nature you would have noticed I smile a lot. You'll never, ever, rarely find me, very serious or anything. And I believe that, through humor you can tell a lot.
Very true, very true, very
And,
well said.
it's not just humor; it's also satire that I write. So I believe a lot can be conveyed through humor than a lot of seriousness and other negativity. I love humor because it enables me to smile. You'll be surprised. Kapil Sharma comedy show is one of my favorites.
Wonderful,
So
wonderful.
I love to laugh a lot, and so I think that way I write a lot of humor also.
It's the
I
best
see humor
way.
in all things. So
It's
thank you,
the
Neelam.
best way to
Thank
face
you.
life. Sorry.
Thank you, Maria. Yes, please, Maria, you were saying something?
I was saying that it is the best way to face life. The
True.
best, the more intelligent way to face our life.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And the more a person is sad, I think more humorous that person and we should see humor in all those issues and problems that we face. Then it becomes very easy to resolve them also. So
Absolutely. Yes.
that's my take on humor. So with that, we conclude the first round of our poetry reading, and we now move on to the second round. I'll slightly change the order of calling to beat the monotony. So Neelam, may I request you to please read your poem?
Oh, sure. So, Valentine's Day is nearby. So, I'll render a love poem, but it is Sufi love. So, it's titled Your Voice. Tears ooze out as I touch your voice. Tears ooze out as I touch your voice. The sound which had been resonating inside the dwelling of my closed heart, making me wander from place to place like an insane and crazy being, wondering whether the echoes were imaginary and compound or real and simple, suddenly finds an abode as I touch your voice. My body has become a veena, and your voice a string which keeps striking my chords, and music keeps flowing, making me dance like Meera to the tunes of you, O Krishna. My search, now complete, my quest bears fruit as I get lost in you, and tears ooze out as I touch your voice. Thank you.
That's wow.
It's a wonderful poem and very interesting thoughts, Meera, Krishna, tears. And it's also a very inward looking poem. That's what I felt about Neelam's poem. I'm tempted to again ask you, Neelam, how you conceived of this particular poem?
These days, I'm tending to be a bit more spiritual. and I've been reading more about spirituality. So maybe during those moments, this poem just poured out from my heart. You know, I never think and write. I only write what pours out from my heart.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I think as poets, most of us do that, whatever
Do
comes
that.
to our tongue. And we are blessed to be poets because we are able to give, words, put words to our thoughts, and I believe as poets, we are very blessed to do that. I now invite Parul Rastogi to please read her poem. Over to you, Parul.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So my next poem is called Separation. And in this poem, I have tried to portray the love between a leaf and the night. It is full of metaphors. So here it
Yeah.
goes. Separation. Bidding adieu to her lover, the night. She, a leaf, somehow managed to smile, so that her credence may pave his way to the distant horizon, and perhaps he may return to her arms to the soonest dusk. A silken blow of breeze kissed her forehead, and she suddenly returned to the consciousness. He had gone. Dewdrops were peeping out of her eyes. It was a silent sign of the pang of separation.
Beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful, beautiful, and very nice metaphors you
Beautiful.
have employed, Parul.
Thank
So
you, ma'am.
beautifully, and I also felt it's a slight contrast to the poem you had first read, and
Yes,
it
ma'am.
almost seemed like a wonderful trip down the memory lane too. So I want to ask you, Parul, do you write poetry that reflects your mood of the moment, or do you think of a theme and then pen it down as a poem?
No, I don't plan a poem. It just comes out
Yes,
naturally. Actually, I am very much inspired from Rabindranath Tagore's Gitanjali. So
very
he
good.
also used to he used to give wonderful messages through natural elements.
True.
So the same thing I try to adapt.
Thank you, Parul. It's always nice to hear young people, giving their insights, and we learn so much from you because your
Thank you,
thoughts are
ma'am.
so fresh. Thank you so much, Parul.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. I now invite Dr. Maria Miraglia to please read her poem. Over to you, Maria.
Yes. Well, my second poem title is An Imagery Journey. Starry the sky tonight, and mild the air that slightly comes from the open window. Silent is the world outside, while lazily I look up to the fascinating view, to the bright little lamps afar, to be instantly captured in an imaginary journey through new worlds and galaxies in the endless spaces. A sense of wonder mingles with a never-known feeling of pride. Man, parts of such a great design, long gone are the bad moods of the past days. A strange quietness invades my lonely soul, and I breathe deeply as if to enjoy to the full that sense of eternity. Yes,
Beautiful, beautiful,
Very well.
beautiful.
Very nice. Very nice.
Absolutely beautiful, Maria. This is a imaginary German. Imaginary journey, and your first poem spoke of suitcase. So I think you are a traveler at heart. Somewhere you love traveling, and therefore your poem also has uh, maybe an inner journey. I mean, in these COVID times, we are all into our inner journeys, and this poem I felt where you refer to eternity, there is a lot of inward looking. So I'd like to know what inspired you to write this poem. What triggered this particular poem?
I believe that each of us is some particular moments, even along the day. We are poets. My mind travel often in any towards any directions and space too. I imagine the elements of nature, and I talk with them I have a special relation with everything which surrounds us, not just the people, but nature in general. So this was, but I have so many other poems who deals about this. I try to seize some particular feelings in also relating to a few minutes in my day or in my life. And I believe that there is something of Indian in this poem too, because I have a lot of Indian friends. I often talk with you, with them, because I think there is some a sense, feeling of spirituality, which is not common in Europe. Because as an Italian woman, we are accustomed, we are educated to our religion, which is Catholicism. And I can tell you that there is a great distance between Catholicism and pure spirituality. I had the great fortune to know one of your countrymen, Madam Gandhi, was my lamp, my teacher, my mentor. I translated 100 of his poems into Italian. So I had the chance to enter in his soul and to learn something from him. So sometimes I see in my verses something of Indian. Thanks to you all.
Thank you. Our pleasure and honor, Maria. And thank you for that meditative process of your poetry that you shared with us about your, your inclination towards Mahatma Gandhi, towards your attachment to Mahatma Gandhi. Because you're a peace activist, I think you relate very well to the ideals of Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you. It's truly an honor to have you in our midst. Hema, now may I please request you to please read your second poem?
Thank you again. So my second poem is about the cherry blossom. It's titled, The Sakura is Here. In the spring sun, she stands, a blossoming riot, amidst gorgeous companions. A lone cardinal rests as the gentle morning breeze rustles his feathers. Conspicuously absent are the Hanami lovers, who click away endlessly in self-infatuated delight from dawn until dusk. They are in quarantine with pollen sneeze. The colorful display and sounds of spring continue undisturbed. They are in quarantine with pollen sneeze. The colorful display and sounds of spring continue undisturbed. Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, Hema. That was a delightful poem on Sakura, and what an imagery of Sakura you have painted in this poem. It was beautiful. What an imagery. Wonderful. What inspired you to write this poem? It was Sakura, something very unusual.
Yeah, because I had the opportunity of witnessing the cherry blossom. Really, I mean, had the first-hand experience of it, and all this is partly true. Of course, the people were all there. Now, of course, because of quarantine, people are really not going. So Hanami is something which people look forward year after year. So I had that good fortune of watching it. And there's one thing I'd like to share. Apparently, Japan shared 1,000 sakura trees. They gifted it to the US apparently. So now the US has this cherry blossom festival year after year. So that's the origin. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's wonderful to hear from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. So Paddy ma'am's poem, we are looking forward to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So, thank you for inviting me, Hema. So inspired by my friend Hema Ravi, I'm also I attempted a villanelle myself a few days back.
Super.
Yes, and as she explained, villanelle is a poetry genre having 19 lines consisting of 5 tercets and a final quatrain. with the first and the third lines of the first stanza repeating alternately in the following stanzas. So these two refrain lines form the final couplet of the in the villanelle. So the title of my villanelle is Dead and Gone. I feel as if I'm dead and gone. Through the deafening silence, I shout, is there a hope of being reborn? Will my life see yet another dawn? I'm filled with all sorts of self-doubt. I feel as if I'm dead and gone. Why am I between life and death torn? To scout for a life jacket, my soul is out. Is there a hope of being reborn? I feel dead amidst people who fawn, with no real feelings from the heart. I feel as if I'm dead and gone. As self-doubts my being adorn, life goes on and I play out my part. Is there a hope of being reborn? I meet people, some sweet, some mean. Choices in life seem few and far between. I feel as if I'm dead and gone. Is there a hope of being reborn? Thank you.
That's very touching. That's a very touching. So can I ask you a question?
Please.
I've normally seen you writing very humorous kind of poems, but this indicates slightly inner journey, some questions in your mind.
Sure.
So, what is it that made you write this poem?
I think it's also age related, I must say. But I can tell you one thing, comedy is serious business always. So the people who are very funny and humorous are very serious people inside, actually. And, their inner journey is of a different kind. So I try to combine the two, trying to put serious things in a, light-hearted manner. Likewise, some serious things also occasionally I write. So I have a good number of poems which are quite serious, and I think this is one of those. Moreover, I wanted to contrast my first poem with the second poem, so I chose a serious poem the second time. Thank you, Neelam. Thank you. So with this, I think... Yeah, tell me.
No, I would like to just say a sentence. Pardon me. I would like to say that you have been born, means we die and get born many times in one life only. So why bother about the next life? So you are so vibrant, so full of energy. We all have a lot to learn from you, and salute to you.
On the contrary, I learn a lot from people like you, Hema. You're all such wonderful multitaskers. Maria, my dear friend Maria, she's such a multitasker. She does many things at the same time. So I think I have a lot to learn from you all. And young Parul now, she has so much to teach all of us, And Parul, I believe you're going somewhere, or you continue to be in Sitapur?
Right now, I'm in Sitapur. I'll be going Chennai soon.
Oh, wonderful. That's Hema's city.
Welcome to Chennai.
Yes. So with this, we have come to the end of both the rounds of poetry reading in this fourth international poetry meet, organized and facilitated by my dear friend Neelam Saxena. Thank you all, my dear friends, Dr. Maria Miraglia, Hema Ravi, Parul Rastogi, and Neelam, for your engaging and highly enjoyable poems. They took us on a journey within. At the same time, we enjoyed your poetic styles, the poetic devices that you employed. I think I have a lot of learning from all of your poems. So thank you so much for being with us. And over to you, Neelam, for your concluding remarks.
It was a real pleasure. Yeah. It was a real pleasure to hear Maria, Hema, Parul, and of course Paddy. And I just recollected my 4 lines which I had written. On the ocean of feelings, poetry lies like a princess fairy. When the current is opposite, she strives. When in rhythm, she's merry. So basically, what I learned today was to write a wonderful poem. You need to have strong emotions first. Other things come later. you should either be very happy or excited or sad, or then only you can bring out a very wonderful poem. And all of you were really very wonderful, and I loved all your poems, and thank you so much for joining my page. Thank you once again.
It's our pleasure as well. Thank you so much for this wonderful evening, Neelam ji. Thank you, Paddy ma'am. Happy to have met you, Dr. Maria and Parul. Yes, welcome to Chennai. So
Thank
see
you,
you all
madam.
sometime
Looking forward
soon.
to meet you soon.
Lovely. Yeah, that'll be great. Thank you all. Thank you so much for this wonderful evening. Thanks once again.
Thanks, everyone.
It has been a great pleasure for me to be with you. You have given me an hour, I hope, or more, of beauty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you for this opportunity, Neelam. And bye-bye. Good night.